Hello guys, welcome to another video. Today we have a tutorial how to fly with a Concorde, how to do a full flight. In this case we're gonna do a flight from New York to Madrid. We are at the stand 4 and I have already a tutorial how to start the plane from scratch, but in this video I'm gonna show you how to fly, how to do a full flight, with this plane. So this is a version 2, so we have some new features. So let's go to the cockpit. As you can see, the plane is fully off. Wait, I deactivate X camera. Okay, the plane is fully off, as you can see from Colon Dark. So let's start. The first you need to do is put on the GPU. So to do this, go to the top of the menu of Xplane, click on here on Concorde, and then go to the graphical user interface, show main graphical user interface window. To go to this window, you can have quick access, as you can see here at the bottom of the screen on my left. So to have this, go to settings, and then here on user interface, show quick access graphical user interface. Click it here on toggle and put it on. Okay. Well, when you are on this window, the first you need to do is go to aircraft, then doors and ground, and here put on the GPU. Well, come back and we're gonna start with the checklist. Click on checklist. These two checklists, the external checks and the safety checks, you can avoid them because you don't need to do anything. The external checks is only visual, and the safety checks, when you have the plane on Colon Dark, all the steps in this checklist are already done. So you can go directly to the preliminary cockpit. You can close this window, and here we're gonna start with the checklist. The technical log is already checked. The ground power is on. We have just done before. Main batteries. Okay, the main batteries is located at the engineer panel. To go to the engineering panel, go to the top of the menu, Xplane, Concorde, View, and then engineering. And you pass directly to the engineer seat. As you can see, we are at the seat of the engineer. Here is the panel of the engineer. From the center position, go to the right, and here in this panel you have the main batteries. The main batteries is these two switches. So as you can see, batteries A, battery B, put it on. Okay, and now go to the center position again and go to the equipment bay cooling panel. The equipment bay cooling panel is from this position, go up a little bit, and here in fuel management you have at the left equipment bay cooling. There are these all switches. So put it on auto, one click, okay, and that's it. Then oxygen panel. Oxygen panel, go to down, and in your right leg from the seat you have here the oxygen panel. You need to click this red button and then click to put it on. Now the oxygen panel is checking something. Drain mask heaters. Okay, from this seat you can go to the left to the cockpit, and you can go up to the overhead panel, and as you can see here you have the drain master heaters. put it on the 3. Then INS. Okay, INS, return to the engineer panel, and in your left leg you have the 3 INS. The 1 is here, 2 is here, and the 3rd is here. So all them, put it to align, 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 and align. As you can see, you have a white light. You need to wait probably 10 minutes to this light goes to green. Remember, it will be take 10 minutes, so you have time to do the other procedures and prepare the aircraft. Well, the next step is air data computers on. From this position, go to the left, and here in the pedestal below avionics you have these 2 switches. Put it on. Then emergency equipment is check, no smoking signs and fasten seatbelt sign on. Go to the top, to the overhead panel, and here in this part you have fasten seatbelts, no smoking signs. Well, now you have the preliminary cockpit checklist done, so we can jump to the next checklist. Before engine start checklist. Master circuit breakers. Is only visual. Go to the left and check all the circuit breakers are all in. Okay, it's automatically because you cannot do anything here. Cockpit preparation security is completed. Oxygen is checked 100% all. Doors and windows are closed. Flight control inverts. Okay, go to the overhead panel, and below these red switches are the fire controls of the engines in case of an engine failure or engine fire. Sorry, you have these all switches. So these switches are the flight controls inverts. So put it on. Well, perfect. And then the flight control augment system. The flight control augment system, if you go down a little bit, as you can see here, you have below the flight controls inverts, you have these switches are the flight control augment system are already on, so in this position are good. And then you have anti-stall system. Anti-stall system is these 2 switches, so you need to put it on. Then radio and INS switches, put it on radio. Okay, this switch is located near the autopilot control. Is this switch? This switch you can use because if you are following a route with the INS, you put on INS, and here you can see the miles to the point. For example, if you are going to the waypoint 2, you can see the miles you have to arrive. And if you are using BOR or ILS, you can put on radio, and you can see the nautical miles you have to arrive at waypoint, or for example to see what quantity miles you are out of the ILS, for example. But for the moment, keep it on radio. Then instrument transfer switch is already done. You don't need to know anything. Altimeters. Well, I will check my altimeters here. In New York is 2996, so you can put here. Well, is good, and do the same with the both altimeters. Perfect. Audio component 1, go down, and near the throttles you have this panel, and the COM1 button is this blue button. Click it on. NEP radios set. I will explain you what means this later when we do the flight plan preparation. The brakes is here at the right of the throttle, so you have this control is on park position, as you can see here on park, so the parking brakes are already set. Navigation lights is located at the overhead panel at the top. Here in lights, nav lights on. Throttle masters. Okay, the throttle masters from the lights panel go a little bit down, and then you have here the throttle master, and you need to put it on main. It's already done. So ground hydraulic, check out yellow off. Go to the engineering panel again. From this position you can move with the keyboard inside the cockpit. Go at the left. In this part you have ground hydraulics is on yellow, and then the both switches are on off. The next step is fuel heaters. Fuel heaters is located from ground hydraulics, go down a little bit to the brake test, and then to the right. Fuel heaters, auto. Engine recircle bubbles is on shot, so it's okay. And the secondary A doors, takeoff with reheat. So we will take off with reheat on, so we need to put on auto position. The secondary 8 doors is located near the fuel heaters, as you can see. Put it on auto. Well, and the batteries is on. This is the we just done before at the start. Remember, both batteries is here. Well, before start engine, checklist 1 is completed. We can jump to the next checklist, and for the moment we can close the checklist. Now let's go to the flight plan preparation. Let's go to the cockpit again, and let's go. Sorry, I just put down my sound a little bit. Well, so let's go to prepare the flight plan. To do the flight plan, you need to do a flight plan with SimBrief. So go to your browse. For example, I use Microsoft Edge, and as you can see, you can do a new flight. I don't explain you how to use this website, because all people use this website. It's very famous and it's very simple. Remember, in this website you don't have a profile of the Concorde here, so the aircraft is not important, because only you need to download the FMS file to have the route, but the fuel, the people you are picking up to the plane, you will do from the airplane manager. It's inside a simulator. So when you have the flight plan already completed with your route or with your flight plan, click it on generate flight. Sorry, select any aircraft. It's not important, remember, it's not important. Okay, generate the flight, and now we will to download the file. We need to put into FMS plans on Xplane 11 directory. I'll show you how to do it. Well, when you are on this on this page, click here on download FMS in this button, and you will go directly to this list. Go to the bottom and select Xplane 11, your departure, your destination 01.fms file. Click on download and you will download the file. When you have the file, copy that file and go directly to your Xplane 11 directory. Okay, go to output, FMS plans, and paste here the file. I have already here, as you can see, Kilo Juliet Foxtrot Kilo Lima Echo Mike Delta 01.fms. When you have it, you can close the Xplane 11 directory. Well, go again to the simulator and let's start with flight plan preparation. So you have the quick access here. You need to go to graphical user interface, then flight preparation, and the first you need to do is pick up the fuel and pick up the passengers. So first, payload manager. I put 87 passengers. If you want, you can put more or less. For me it's okay, 87 is okay. And here you have the range you have with the fuel you have now, but this is not important. In this option, only put your passenger as you want, the cargo, okay, and then put it on apply, and the passengers are already picked up. Go into the graphical interface, flight preparation, and the fuel manager. Go to fuel manager. Well, here you need to calculate your fuel for the flights. For example, my flight is around 3,157 nautical miles, and with the fuel I have here 19,000 tons, I have a fuel range of 3,419 nautical miles. So I put it on apply directly because I have more extra fuel. For example, if I have an emergency and I need to go to another airport, for example. Well, so remember, calculate your fuel. You can put more or less here, as you can see, more or less. You have all the options, alternate airport. You can see the distance you have, partner approach and landing, subsonic to airport, descent. But if you can see the standard routes for this plane is London, New York, Paris, Seattle, Orlando, Rome, Hamburg, and you have the total nautical miles here. And if you load 3,419 nautical miles of fuel, it's okay, because you will arrive to the destination with no problem. Well, when you have the fuel you need, click on apply, and as you can see here in the engine instruments, you have the fuel indicator. You have 90 tons, 182 kilograms. So the fuel is loaded correctly. Sorry. Well, now we continue with the flight preparation. Go again to the graphical user interface. Click it again on flight preparation, and then click on flight plan. Well, as you can see, we have the flight plan here. Speedbird 1, departure airport, Kilo Juliet Foxtrot Kilo, passengers 87 arrival airport. This is not important because you cannot, you don't need to do anything with this, okay? But you need to check you have complete all the flight plan here. If you cannot see anything here, you do a one step run, okay? Well, the fuel you have, 0 for weight, payload weight, check is all okay here. Go to next, and here you have the takeoff decision speed, B1, BR, B2, B noise, BREF. Check it to have the reference. Well, and then to put the flight plan into the SIBA or INS, you need to go to waypoint entry, and here you have the waypoint entry. Well, as you can see, the plane automatically put the point 01 is on our departure airport, New York, and here directly you can load the flight plan, the FMS file. Well, to do it, click on load, and then select your FMS plan, Kilo Juliet Foster Kilo to Lima Mac Delta 01, one click, and that's it. You have your flight plan fully loaded into the SIBA. I'm going to show you now. Check all the waypoints is correct. If you see, it's longitude and latitude, or latitude and longitude, and you have the coordinates here. Don't change the flight level and the airspeed. It's not important because then the plane follows that you put on the autopilot, so it's not important. This only check you have all the waypoints correct. Click on commit, and that's it. When you have the flight plan already loaded, as you can see before, you need to put all the data here in the autopilot. The airspeed is here. You can select. I'm moving this rudder. Put on 250 knots. Then put the altitude on 28,000 feet, because this altitude is the acceleration to Mach 2 altitude to get the 0.95 to have a good climb to the final flight level. So put it flight level 280 here, and then we are using a SIBA mode, so you don't have an FMS here. When you have the flight plan loaded, you have an extra help in this version. If you click here in the engine instruments, if you click here, voila, you have a Garmin 1000. Here in the Garmin 1000 you can load the flight plan as the same you see before in the SIBA, and you have the road here. So this Garmin 1000 is the same, and FMS is the same, because you can do standard instrument departure, you can do a standard arrival, is the same. So if you want to do to this way, it's more easy, obviously, but it's not real. But I use it because it's a good help for the flights, because the plane is a very complex plane. You have to pay attention in all the systems, and really the Garmin 1000 is a good help. So to load the flight plan here and see the road, click on flight plan, and then go out, if you are inside, if you have selected this, click here and go out. Okay, with the second rudder, sorry, with the inside selector, one click and you have the flight plan list here. One click here, and with the second rudder, with the second selector, you can select your flight plan. For example, Kilo Juliet Foster Kilo to Lima Mike Delta. Click enter, and that's it. You have the flight plan here. You have the flight plan already loaded. It's amazing. And then you can see all the waypoints. If you click on flight plan again, you go to, with the inside selector, go to the to the first page, and you see all the waypoints. You can see all the waypoints here. So if you click one click and go inside, you can jump to all the waypoints you have, as you can see. This waypoint, for example, I worked late, and that's it. So for example, then if you want, let's go to the Kilo Juliet Foster Kilo again. If you want to do departure, you need to close this page, flight plan, and go on proc Papa Romeo Oscar Charlie. Click here. You have departure Kilo Juliet Foster Kilo and arrival on approach to Madrid, Lima Mike Delta. For example, I need to select a departure, so with the second selector, go to departure, click enter, and here there it is. You can select the departure, for example, right? If you select it, you select the runway. In this case, I will take off from runway 31 left. You can select the transition. I don't know what it is, but because I do the departure with the charts, I show you how to do it. For example, this transition, select it, load, and that's it. Simple. Now you have the departure fully loaded in the Garmin 1000, and you can follow the road. It's simple. Obviously you need to check the charts to do this. Okay, the same for the approach. For the approach, if you want to put an approach here in the Garmin 1000, click on proc, select, for example, approach or arrival, ILS runway 32 left, Zulu. Example, transition has been, for example, click enter again, load, and that's it. And if you click flight plan again, you have the departure, your flight plan, and your approach to Madrid. On the planes, when you select here the autopilot and follow the road with the INS button, I explained you later, the plane will follow this flight plan. Okay, so you have the two forms to do, with the SIBA or with the Garmin 1000. And let's continue with the checklist. We have the checklist before engine start. The before engine start 1 is already completed. So before start, checklist 2 completed. Before engine start, checklist 2. Let's do it. No, it's not completed. What are you saying? INS 1, 2, and 3. So let's go again to the engineering panel. As you can see, we have the green light here after 10 minutes. So in this part you need to put to navigation all the 3 INS. Put navigation, navigation, navigation. That's it. We have the INS already aligned. Then all these steps you can avoid because these steps are saying to you put the INS to nav. Well, so then AC box and pitch index. In this part I will go to the cockpit and I put my pitch here. At the left you have this switch and you can put up or down your pitch, and then your vertical speed, put on 1500 feet as you can see. Then fuel flow box is set, clock is set, throttle lever indices. Go to the throttle and you have this selector, put it on this arrow. Well, it's okay. Okay. Briefing is stated. Low sheet is checked. Sorry, 04 weight and 04 weight center of gravity is set and checked. Fuel remaining. But we have 90 tons. It's okay. Load limits is set. Takeoff data is checked. Start clearance. We have the start clearance. Door lights. Well, go to the engineering panel, and here near the INS, these all lights are the door lights, and you can test. Okay, if you have one door open, you have the advisory here. Well, master warning. Well, master warning is on the overheat panel here below the lights, the landing lights and the taxi lights. And to test, click it on this button and hold it. Well, test is completed. Anti-collision lights. Go to the overhead panel, and near the navigation lights you have the anti-collision lights on. The throttles are idle. Check is on idle. Engine feed pumps. Where is located the engine feed pumps? Go to the seat of the engineer. Hello engineer, how are you? And at the center, from this position, you have the fuel part here, and here you have the engine feed pump. These all pumps are the feed pumps, so put it on. Check all the lights goes off, and then clearance to start obtain. We have the clearance to start, of course. Well, before engine start, checklist 2 is now already completed. So click on the next, engine start. Bleed air source. From this position, go up at the top, and here you have the air bleed control. Cross bleed 3 and 4, cross bleed 1 and 2, open. What is a cross bleed? Cross bleed is below the bleed valve's ground supply. Here, cross bleed, open, open. Engine bleed air valve. These 4 switches, open. Well, engine debug. Where is located engine debug? From this position, go to down, and in your left leg of the engineer seat, go to the INSS panel, and here at the left you have the engine start bevel, and you have the starters, and you have the engine debug here. So if the engine are off for less of 4 hours, keep it on normal. But if the engine is off for more than 4 hours, you need to put on debug. In this case, the engine are off for more than 4 hours, so we need to put on debug the 4 engines. Well, start bevel. Well, so let's go to start the engines. I recommend you put general view here. So the first you need to do is start the engine number 1. So this started, click on down, position start, and then, well, if you don't have any result, it's because the ground power goes off. I don't know, because it's on a bug, but it's on a book, but I don't know why the GPU do this. So go again to aircraft, doors and ground, and GPU, click it again, and then the engine one, when you put the starter to start, if you go to the engine indicator, as you can see, the N2 of engine 1 goes up, and to start it, go to the overheat panel, and you have these all 4 switches. Click it on the one, and the engines starts up. Well, after this, shut off the starter and put the engine debug on normal, and check the N2 going up to 62%. Do the same with all the rest of the engines. You can do it at the same time. So start, go to the overheat panel, click 2, 3, 4, and then starter off, normal, until the engines are going up. That's simple. We have the engines started. Well, when you have the engines fully started, go to the engineer panel again, and from the center position go again to the air bleed control, and check all these steps. For example, the last step is ensure NPM 67%. All the steps is the steps we just done here. Okay, debug first, then the starter, and then when the engine is already start, put off the starter and click on normal. In foreground, okay, ground, the engines are finished. We are fully ready. Okay. Condition bevel. Go to the air brake control, and in condition bevel is here below the cross bleed. Put it on. Hydraulic pump. From this position, go to the right, and here is the hydraulic management. Hydraulic pump comes on. Electric generator, go down. These 4 switches, 2 clicks. Cross bleed shut. Go again to the air brake control. Cross bleed shut. Repeat for each engine is already done. Engine start checklist completed. We can go to next. Before pushback, go again to hydraulic. Emergency hydraulic generator ground bypass is already done. Don't check it because it's done. Electrical SSB, go down, and below this yellow light you have this switch, no, this switch, SSB close. Sheet galleys generator 1, 2, 3 and water heater on, go down. And here you have the water heaters, generator 1 and 3 and 2 and 4. Taxi lights is not required now. In foreground, okay, in foreground, fire controls deflection. Go to the cockpit. Fire controls deflection is located here at the near of engine indicators. So full right, full left, full down, full up, and rudder. Full right, check here, full left. Okay, fire controls deflection is set, and check. Set nose and visor. This switch put on 5 degrees to keep the nose down and the visor to have a good takeoff, because if you don't do this, the plane will not take off and you crash. Well, check the green light, perfect, and the parking brake release. So we can call to the pushback now.
Ground to cockpit. Please show me where you want to go.
Here.
Ground to cockpit. Tow is driving up.
Okay, so let's wait to the pushback. Control, as you can see, is here. A. Oh, you can disconnect the GPU. By GPU. Graphical user interface, aircraft, doors on ground, GPU goes off. Let's see how this guy connect the plane to pushback.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed. Ready to connect.
Perfect. It's a beautiful plane. Beautiful plane. But I recommend you follow all the checklists in this plane, because it's not an easy plane. It's a very, very, very complex plane. A lot of steps, a lot of procedures. And if you don't follow the checklist, you can jump any step and you can have a wrong flight.
Tow connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
Parking brake release. Okay, if you...
Starting pushback.
Perfect. Okay, before pushback checklist is completed, so we can start with the before taxi checklist. Engine 1 and 2 and 3 is running. Nose wheel steering is checked. The nose wheel steering is near the fare control. And if you put the right or left rudder, check this control move. Okay, fare controls and trim are checked. Master warning panel is checked. We don't have any light. Okay. Engine NTIs is off because we don't need. Engine control show there. Okay. Go to the engineer panel again. And engine control shoulder is here. From the ground hydraulics, go to the right, and here engine control shoulder, put it on fly over. Then brake fans. Brake fans from this position go to the left, brake fans on, and then engine idle switch to low. Engine idle switch to low, it's this switch, so one click to high and then one click to low. Store warnings. I don't know where is located the store warning, so I cannot do it because I don't know where it's located. I look and look and look, but I don't know. So engine feed pumps are already done. Hydraulics are checked. Remember, engine feed pumps is here and hydraulics is here.
Operation complete. Go ahead and set the parking brake.
Okay, parking brake is set.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
In foreground, the nose is down 5 degrees. Is already done. Brakes check normal. Is normal. You can check the pressure here. It's okay. We have pressure, and when you release the parking brake, this pressure comes down. Flight instruments is already checked. We have the QNH or the altimeter, sorry. Set. We have our vertical speed and our pitch set, and all the flight instruments are good. So then flight controls, blue and
Tow
lights
is
out.
disconnected and bypass
Okay.
pin has been removed. Hand signal on the right. We'll see you next time and have a safe flight.
And the trims are checked. The trim is here. As you can see, the rudder of the trim, and you can hold it on 0 in the green part. Well, now we can do the taxi checklist. Center of gravity fuel transfer is set. Engine rate mode, takeoff. Go to the overheat panel. And check the engine rate mode. Engine rate mode is here, is on takeoff. You can click here and you can click here on takeoff. Engines auto ignition, the same. Click here on engines auto throttle on. Throttle master, check main, is on main. Drain mass heaters, it's up, is on above throttle master. Engine flight rating on climb. Press static heaters. From this position go to the right a little bit and it's near the lights. Press static heaters on. ADS engine prop heaters is here, are already on, the 3. Engine 4 and 1 takeoff limiter is set. Air conditioning panel is checked. The fuel panel is checked. Anti-skid system, no lights. We don't have lights in this part. Reverser shut off is shut off. Throttle mid travel forward checks. Check the throttle. You can work all the travel from the idle position to the takeoff position. Okay. Seat and harnesses are checked. Tank 11 fuel amount is checked. The air tank is checked. Center gravity gauges is checked. And main transfer pumps tank 5 and 7 is set. Okay, taxi checklist is completed. You don't need to do anything because it automatically is done these steps. Well, before takeoff checklist, so we're gonna do the taxi to the runway. Now we are ready to take off. We are at the holding point of runway 31 left, and before takeoff we need to complete the checklist. So if you click on the quick access you have here on checklist, before takeoff checklist, briefing takeoff data is checked, landing lights. The landing lights is located above the master warning panel. So there is 4 switches. Put it on. Transponder set on. Okay, the transponder is here on the pedestal. Here below the throttle you have here the transponder. Click on this button, these 2 buttons, and the transponder will go on. Brake temperature warning lights. We don't have any warning in the engineering panel and here in the master warning. Autopilot values. We have the airspeed. We have the heading. For example, I need to put heading 090 for the departure. And we have our flight level 280 initially. Takeoff monitor. Takeoff monitor is below the autopilot. Sorry, is this button. Click it on that. You will see these 4 green lights goes on. That indicates takeoff monitor is on. Reheat switches selected. You need to go to the throttle and these 4 white switches put to up, and you will see these 4 white lights here when you put it on. These lights indicates that the reheat switches are on. Pitch index is set. Radar as required. We don't need, and the takeoff we have obtained. So we are ready to
3,
enter.
2, 1, now.
There is when you have the takeoff monitor set and when you are aligned on the runway, the engineer said to you 3, 2, 1 now, and you put the full power, but it will be set at the holding point. So go to the runway slowly, keep calm. Align with the runway. And when you are fully aligned, stop the plane. Well, we're gonna stop here. Perfect. And we put the flight director 1 and flight director 2. Okay. Then click this button, ES Alpha Charlie Oscar, because when you select this and when you put the auto throttle on, the plane looks to the airspeed you put here. So click it, then click on vertical speed and click on this button to indicate to the plane he needs to go to 1,500 feet of vertical speed and goes to 28,000 feet. Okay, so release the parking brakes and full power. Takeoff hour is set.
Airspeed building.
Airspeed building, it's okay.
100 knots.
100 knots.
Power set.
Power is set. Keep the zero line.
V1.
V1.
Rotate.
Rotate. Slowly goes up.
V2.
V2. Positive plane gear up.
Gear coming up.
Be careful when you put up the gear because the nose goes down quickly.
Gear up.
Okay, now when you after takeoff put auto throttle 1 and 2. and we're gonna start the turn to the right. So autopilot 1 and 2 on, and I put my heading because I am out 2 miles and a half. And the plane, as you can see, is looking to 1,100 feet of vertical speed and climbing to 28,000 feet, because you have already put before the takeoff, and when you put the autopilot 1, this works automatically, you know. Well, for example, now I need to go directly to the waypoint. It is going to Alpha Charlie Kilo, so I can put now my INS, and
3,000 feet.
if you want, you can check on the Garmin 1000. It's slow. Okay, after the takeoff, put the nose up. And I will do it here directly.
5,000 feet. Consider noise abatement procedure.
I can put here direct. And as you can see, if you do a direct.
Should I change it?
Okay, and after takeoff, sorry, we need to follow the checklist. So, climb rate is check, landing gear is up, engines check, master warning is check, we don't have lights, QNH setting is alright for now, airspeed and pitch, fuel train to flight. Well, the fuel train to flight, we need to put on flight.
Fuel trim to flight.
Okay, click on here at the top of the menu, engineer, and click on flight. Then external lights are off, and the nose and visors 0 and up. After takeoff checklist completed. So let's start with let's continue with the climb. Where's he going? I don't know. Oh, okay, he's following the roads. As you can see, the Garmin 1000 is a good help because you can see where is going the plane, and directly, if you want, you can do that. I will go directly to this point, so click on this arrow, sorry, click on flight plan, select the waypoint you want, and then click on direct to and enter, and the planes go directly to the waypoint. Well, the plane is already on 10,000 feet. So at 10,000 feet we can select the airspeed to 350 knots. Click on this button.
28,000 feet. Max 0.95. Reheat off.
So we can continue with the checklist. Noise abatement, takeoff monitor off, altitude check, frame rate check, master volume is check. Reheat, you need to put it off. Remember it's here. Okay, the reheat is off. And adjust the pitch, airspeed and pitch, climb rate, and the fruit trim to flight. Okay. So to have the maximum climb and max cruise, the maximum climb vertical speed and the max cruise airspeed, when you pass the 10,000 feet, click on these two buttons, max climb and max cruise. Okay, and the planes automatically looks to the best vertical speed and hold the airspeed you have here. Okay, so let's continue to climb to flightable 280. I cut the video, but in the cut I don't do anything. You need to hold with these options or with this configuration, sorry, to the flightable 280. Okay guys, we are arriving to flightable 280 with the same configuration. So let's open the checklist, go to the accelerate to Mach 2. Well, engines is check, fuel is check, throttles are full, reheat switches are on. So reheat switches on. Engines check, climb rate is check, airspeed and pitch is check, and TS is required. So we need to accelerate to Mach 0.95 to continue the climb. How to do it? Select here the speed on 400. Okay, click on this button, and with you will see with the reheat on, the plane goes to Mach 0.95. Now you can select the final flight level here. In my case is flight level 530. Mach 0.97, so you can start the climb. So click on max climb, max cruise on the plane.
Throttle back or climb.
Okay, if you have this, no problem, because when you start the climb, the planes, their speeds come back, and as you can see, the planes goes
Mach 1 passed.
to 7,000 feet per minute because it's a supersonic climb. Okay, you click on max climb, max cruise,
30,000 feet.
and you pass the Mach 1. Okay, so don't worry. The plane looks the best vertical speed at all the moments. Okay, when you have a speed again, the planes goes up again. Good. So you need to wait to climb to flightable 530. The planes is full automatically. Okay, and when you arrive to the Mach 1.7, you need to shut off the reheat, because remember the reheat, you have a maximum of 15 minutes for use it. Don't pass the 15 minutes, because if you pass you can have problems. So when you have the limit out of 400, you can continue coming up the airspeed. For example, put up to 430. Click it again on the button to say to the plane, hey, goes to this airspeed. Okay. Well, now we are climbing about 2,100 feet per minute, more or less. There is a good climb, and this switch, if you remember at the start, we put on radio. now you can put on INS and you can see the distance you are from the next waypoint. Okay, now we are 62 miles from the next. As you can see here, we can put 450. And we are reaching 820 knots of ground speed. It's a lot. And the Mach 130.
Mach 1.3. Ramp smoothing confirmed.
Perfect. Bye bye New York. It's easy. You are going to climb. You are climbing to flight level 530. At the same time, you are going up with the airspeed. For example, we can put now 470. 470. The planes give more airspeed, more Mach speed, and more vertical speed. There we go. 900 knots of ground speed. We are 40,000 feet. 13,000 feet to go. Remember, when you arrive to the Mach 1.7, switch off the reheaters. You don't have problems with engines. Perfect. Arriving to 1000 knots. 1000 knots. My god. Well, it's pretty much. Okay. So we can up the airspeed a little bit more to, for example, 490. Click again to the button. We are reaching the Mach 1.7. You need to pay attention all the time with this plane. Pay attention, pay attention. You cannot go to sleep, because if you have any problem, you go down. Probably you go down. Okay, Mach 1.7. Well, reheat
I suggest reheat
off.
on.
And the engineer says to you, I suggest that you reheat off. So reheat is off. And the planes continue the climb to flight level 530. We are on the good airspeed 490 knots. And we have a ground speed of 1077 knots. So you can check your roads, your position with the Garmin 1000. Remember, it's more easy and it's a good help. You are not worst pilot to checklist, so you can check it without problems. I will do it. So hey, what happens? He's stopped the climb. Why? planes stop the climb, click on vertical speed again and put the vertical speed you want, and the planes goes up again. Okay, don't worry. If with these two buttons the planes at any moment stops the climb, click on vertical speed, select the altitude you have, and then select the vertical speed you want. For example, 1,500 feet or less, as you want. So we can put 1,000 feet, and the planes start the climb again. I don't know why he stopped the climb. I don't know the reason. But anyway, you can do it manually or automatically, as you want. This option is optional because you can do the climb with the vertical speed and you can put the vertical speed as you want, always checking the speed don't goes down. But if you want to do automatically, click on these two buttons. But if these two buttons doesn't works, do it manually with the vertical speed. It's the same. And when the planes arrive to the final flight level, their speed goes up, and I show you how to hold the Mach number, and that's it. You can fly directly to your destination, and I will see you on the descent. But let's wait to arrive to the final altitude. Well guys, we are arriving to Flight Level 530, Mach 1.9, reaching the Mach 2. Well, when the planes establish it at Flight Level 530, there he is. Okay, Flight Level 530. You can put your airspeed at the maximum. For example, I have 500 feet. Sorry, 500 knots. So put the airspeed on 500, for example. As you can see, the Mach number goes up, and the speed is going up. And when you have the airspeed at the maximum, and you have the Mach at 2 or 2.1 or 2.01, you need to put on this button, Mach hold. With this button, the planes hold the Mach 2 or 2.01 or 2.02 all the flight. Okay, and that's it. And you need to wait to arrive to the top of descent. Okay, let's wait, and I show you how to do it. Reaching 490, the plane is established off at Flight Level 530, following the flight plan we have. Remember, you can take on the Garmin 1000. It's a modern Concorde. Okay, you have a Garmin 1000. Don't worry. Good. It will take a little bit time to reach the 500 knots. But if you want, you can put the reheat. Okay, to reach the maximum airspeed, you need to put a little bit more than the limit, because the plane, if you don't do this, don't reach the maximum airspeed. And if you prefer, you can put for a short time the reheat to get more quickly the speed.
Passing Mach 2.
Mach 2, okay, but we need to continue to 500 knots, so put on 510 for example, or more, because if you don't do this, as you can see, the planes stays don't arrive to 100. Okay, when you have 500 here, 500, Mach hole on, and you can shut off the reheat, and that's it. And the plane will hold the Mach number and the airspeed until the descent. So I will see you on before the descent. Guys, we are at the top of the descent. Is this circle? We are arriving to the top of the descent too. So for the descent, it's very simple. Put your altitude here. You need to descend. In my case, it's 5,000 feet because I'm going there to the initial approach point for the ILS. So 5,000 feet here. Put your vertical speed. Initially 1,000 feet for me. And wait. So we can start the descent. To start the descent, your altitude, your vertical speed, and then click at this button, vertical speed, altitude selected, and the plane will start the descent to 1,000 feet. Remember, you need to put the fuel trim to descent, so go to the top of the menu, engineer, fuel trim on descent.
Fuel trim to descent.
Okay. Wait, don't do anything. This is normal. Move a little bit the vertical speed and put again on 1,000 feet, and the plane goes again to 1,000 feet. Okay. Very good. So, and that's it. So we need to reduce our speed. For example, we can put 500, and the planes start decelerate because we are going too fast. Okay, the plane stabilizes again on 1,000 feet per minute at 500 indicated airspeed. I will reduce to 470 to start decelerate. I'm at 159 miles out for the ILS, so that's it. So you need to check your speed, start decelerate as you prefer, descend to the altitude you need. Remember, check that you have these two buttons on, the vertical speed and the altitude selected, and you will change as you need the vertical speed. So I will see you on the landing. We are at the final approach. The first you need to do before landing is put the fuel trim on landing.
Fuel trim to landing.
For the checklist, approach checklist, fuel trim to landing, engines is checked, master warning on. We have any lights, QNH is set. All the lights but we're not below, that has a fit button anyway. Nose and visors full down. So put the nose full down and the landing gear down and low when you are final. On final touchdown, fuel trim to landing is check. Autopilot throttle off, speed and pitch is check. Throttlers before roll cover check. To idle shortly. And thrust reverses. So I'm on the final approach. I'm doing with the heading. You can put your ILS frequency here and put on radio and do it with the course and heading. We're going to the final approach. We are at 250 knots and descending to 5,000 feet. We need to go to heading.
Wrong fuel trim. Should I change it?
Fuel train. Okay. Heading north. Probably heading 330. More or less. A little bit more. Alright. I think we are aligned with the runway. I don't know. 100%. Yeah, we are aligned more or less. So we need to continue descent to 5,000 feet. Remember, you have this extra help. It's good. So for the landing, you need to hold the pitch at the same position and don't touch the controls. Small movements and it will land great. But if you touch more than the controls, the landing will be worse. So keep slowly on the controls when you land. Okay, we are going to the final approach. I don't see the runway, but probably we have in front of us. Ah, okay, I see the runway now. Okay, good. We need a bit to the left to intercept the ILS. Or we can, yeah, we can continue this way, and I will do a visual approach. This is the best. Okay, I have the runway side. I don't have my Trackir to show you better all the steps and procedures, because I have the Trackir. The moving is quick. So okay. So we disconnect the autopilots for approach.
Autopilot off.
And we start the approach to the runway. There is a runway. So landing gear down.
Gear coming down.
And we can start reduce the airspeed to 220 or 210. Minimum airspeed is 206 knots.
Gear down. 4
Remember that.
greens.
Okay, 4 greens. Perfect. We need to go a little bit to the right to align with the runway. There is the runway, as you can see. Okay. Reduce to 210. Remember, click on this button to get your airspeed. If you don't click, the plane holds the same airspeed. Perfect. So I have my glide slope here. As you can see, if you have the LLS frequency, you will have the glide slope and the course. So we are aligning, as you can see. Perfect. We are fully aligned. There we go. So at this point I put 206 and I disconnect the auto throttle and I will check manually. There we go. I need to go a little bit to the left. That's it. Enough. We have a good glide slope. We will go down a little bit now. But we are not aligned. Presentation to explain you are not flying it. But anyway, I will land with no problem. Perfect. We need to go down a little bit on the speed. Very good. So you need to hold this pitch or a little bit up, but no more. And hold it. Cut the power when you need, and that's it. Because if you pull too high the nose, you will have a hard landing. The nose is very up now. You will see nose down, but not. It's very high. So you need to keep this nose very good. We are fully aligned. Good to get the slope. We need to go down a little bit. Good on the speed to 10. No less. Okay, good. Small corrections.
500 feet.
Cut a little bit the power.
400.
Let's go.
300.
Up a little bit nose. A little
200
bit
feet.
here.
100.
Hold it.
50 feet. 40. 20.
20. Hold it. 10. Contact. Okay, reverses.
Reverse deploy.
Grid landing. And pull the nose down slowly. Very good. Great landing. Whoa. A little bit hard. Okay, don't use the brakes. With the reverses is enough to brake, but now when you have 60 knots you can use the brakes a little bit.
Reverser retracted.
And that's it, my friends. If you see this video, you can fly a full flight with the Concorde with no problems. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you very much. And now the rest of the video is taxi to the gate. So landing lights off. You can put the taxi lights on. You can put off the flight directors on all the buttons. Check your transponder off, and that's it. And you will taxi to the gate. Thank you.